สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผม
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Anyone who is interested is welcome to join. We are waiting for our first participant. Okay, Marco, you're the first one.
Hi, Ajaan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I would like to report my homework.
Please go
So
ahead.
last week, a lot of walking meditation, uh, trying to keep the mind calm, which is working well, being mindful of every step that I take. Also my overall mindfulness training, trying to be mindful whatever I'm doing. Also when I'm walking towards a coffee machine at work, talking to colleagues, trying to stay mindful. Noticing that during my meditation, I finally seem to have found a way to really calm the mind down and get the mind to align with the breathing. And I'm noticing that then I feel way more peaceful than before. So I think I'm on the right track. I feel a little bit less doubt, which is good. Um, so overall, yeah, it's been going well. I was in a situation last week where in the old days, I would look at the face of a woman. I was at a place where a woman went to get me to from a waiting room, and I realized that there was a positive feeling. So I kept looking down and observed my feelings, and and then it went away, and then I could just be professional like I'm supposed to. So I'm seeing a lot of benefits from the mindfulness training and trying to observe what the feelings are that are coming up, be it good or bad, but in any case, making sure that I'm not doing any unskillful actions. So all in all, I'm quite pleased. And I had one question for Pajan. So in the book Wisdom Develop Samadhi, um, I've been reading about the different types of wisdom cultivation, and I'm realizing that while I'm doing my walking meditation, I'm also reaching a certain peacefulness. And last week, I suddenly felt very emotional because I saw my own body and my lungs breathing in and out, and I was feeling that that was positive, but at the same time, I didn't want to dwell on it, so I kept going. But the feeling was very calm. Is that would that be the beginning of wisdom development, or is that just a figment of my imagination at that point? Because I'm watching so much Asupa recently to see the disgustingness of the body, that I'm also seeing that in front of me constantly when I'm walking on the street or when I'm at work seeing colleagues.
Seeing a super,
Yeah,
yeah, it means you might start to remember the super images so that when you need to use it, you can then call up and then stop your sexual drive. your sexual desire.
It seems to be working. It seems to be constantly happening, and also seeing my own body. I'm seeing the repulsiveness of it, but also the fact that it's constantly fading away, and that it's not the same. That it's constantly changing, and that's also why I felt so emotional. I think when I was doing the walking meditation. But all in all, I feel more peaceful, I think. But I'm also feeling, and I don't know if this is normal, but a sense of emptiness. And sense of emptiness, I mean that I feel less, I don't know, enthusiastic about things. It's more like you're seeing things for what they are, like it goes away anyway. So why be so positive about it? And I'm trying to apply that also to the negative things, but it's more difficult to let go of those sometimes. But when I'm sitting in the car, I'm in the past I could get really worked up about things that would happen at work and get frustrated and stressed. And now I just kind of accept as it is and don't really see the use of being too extreme in my emotions about it and just trying to let go, but also yeah, just positive feelings. I know that everything goes away and I don't know, it feels like everything becomes a little bit more, I think the word is gray, like more dull.
I think you start to see the disillusion in yourself. That things are not really anything that worth going after. They are just temporary. They come and go, rise and cease. You cannot retain anything. So why go after them and get all stressed up and, or sad when you have to lose them? So this is a process of seeing things as they are, anicca, temporarily, uncontrollable, anatta. They come on their own, they go on their own. You might not be able to hold on to them forever.
I think that it's one of the things that I've been trying to contemplate as well about my wife, about my son, about my parents as well. It's like I know that everything will go away, that I can't keep everything as it is. And I know that the past I want to forget a lot of things that happened in the past, but I've accepted that they've happened and I feel more confident in what I'm doing now. And I feel good about that. And I was having a conversation with my wife about that as well, because soon she will be going to Thailand for a couple of weeks. And I know it will be a test for me to not be with her, but at the same time, I feel more confident. And why do I feel more confident? Because before it was not like I had the feeling I was doing bad things. I was feeling like, well, I'm not hurting anybody with my actions, and I feel that now my mindset has changed. Everything that I want that I'm doing now, I want to do skillful and wholesome, because it's not just me. It has everything that I do has effect on everybody really around you. So do the skillful things, and I'm more aware of that, and that at the same time it gives a weird kind of confidence and peace, and I'm really appreciative of it, and at the same time I'm trying not to hold on to it, because I know last week we also had a little discussion about something, and I sense that I get my defensiveness back when we discuss certain topics, and I get frustrated because we discussed that last week as well. It's like, no, I want to make it clear how I'm thinking. And it's like, but I don't control that anyway. So I have to let go. I have to stand back and accept. And yeah, it's a process, but I'm liking the process as it's going. But at the same time, I'm not holding on to it, because I know things that they won't stay as they are. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get better. It is what it is. But that somehow gives more peace, I think.
Yes, the more you let go, the more peaceful your mind becomes. So just let go, don't hang on to them, don't cling to them.
Yeah.
You cannot cling to them. When it's time for them to go, they just go.
Yeah. And being a parent is difficult sometimes. I'm noticing that one of the things that makes me angry is my son, certain habits. And one of the things that I'm seeing in him is that I think it's projecting, and I think that a lot of people do that probably, but I project myself onto him when I see certain things of behavior, and then I want the best for him. So I want to kind of make it clear. It's like, well, this is not the right thing to do. And if it doesn't go the way you want, again, we come back to the controlling bit, having to let go. I just sometimes think it's difficult, but I try. I know he's a good boy, but I'm trying not to hold on too much to when I'm feeling upset, to make things clear. It's just that I want, and I know I can't, but I want to prevent him from making the mistakes I made. I don't want him to be feeling the way I feel, or even worse, making other people feel worse because of the actions you do. So
Just do what you can.
yeah,
If you cannot do, then you just have to let it be.
yeah,
You can only do so much. You cannot do everything. So just accept the fact that, you know, there are limits to our ability to do things. So just do what we can, and then if it's beyond that, then it's just let it be.
exactly. Just try as much as we can according to the right way, skillful ways, and then if it's not, it's not. It's okay. Don't dwell on it. That's the key, I guess.
Yeah, don't get hung up on it. You know, just accept things as they are.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can control, sometimes you cannot control. And things get
true.
out of control, just let it be.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, anything else?
No, this was an easy week. I didn't have a. I'm feeling that I'm making progress.
I think mindfulness is the key. If you can maintain mindfulness, then your mind will be under control, not creating all kinds of issues for you to solve.
Yeah, that's true.
So the less you think, the less issue there will be for you to worry
Yeah.
about.
It's going well. I like the feeling of the mind actually really calming down. I don't think I've ever really experienced it before. Well, I did so much meditation in the past trying to get peace, but I think I wasn't control. I wasn't meditating really. I wasn't really getting restful. I was just trying to hold my mind still or something too still, like over focusing on being still, I think. And now it's more, no, this is the breath. Stay with the breath, and you get this really restful feeling. I like it, and it feels good.
Yes, you don't have to go after the result. Go after the cause, the action that you have to do, what you have to
Yeah.
do, and then whatever will happen, it will happen. You know, if it doesn't happen, okay, it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true. So on Friday when I was doing the walking meditation, it was really like I had like 10 minutes spare time to do the meditation or something. So I started doing it, and when I felt those results, it was like I had zero expectations at that point. I just was like, okay, I have some time. Let me do some walking meditation. And those are the best because there's no like
no
sneaky
cravings, no
feeling. Yeah,
craving.
no sneaky craving. Oh, maybe I get a
Mhm.
really good feeling this time, and that felt really good. So that
Mhm.
was kind of the proof. Like, okay, you're focusing on the, or not focusing, but you're doing the action for the action. You're doing the action for the action and not for the result. And that's it, I think.
Mhm. Just do the action, and then the result will come naturally.
Yeah,
Okay, anything else?
that's it. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanjan. I'm just here to listen to everyone. I'm doing well. I'm continuing my practicing.
Okay, next, Alvin also from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. Namaskar, Tanajan. Tanajan, I've got a question. Normally, when we meditate, the pain started to arise. We will continue with our mindfulness of anapanasati, and you know, then the pain will go away. I mean, normally it's like continue, just don't get disturbed by the pain. What about when we are in a very noisy, in a very quiet environment, suddenly it becomes really noisy? Do we move, or we just concentrate, continue with the breathing meditation? or do we move to somewhere else?
What do you mean? The surrounding?
The surrounding, yeah, is initially is quiet, is calm, suitable for meditation, but then suddenly it become really too noisy.
Well, it depends on whether you can continue on meditating or not. If you cannot, then you probably have to go look for a new place.
Right. So we treat it differently from the pain, right? The pain normally I would continue.
Well, see, the pain is something that we're gonna have to live with for the rest of our life. So we want to train the mind not to run away from the pain. Try to teach it to live with the pain by staying calm, by not reacting to the pain. But with the noise, you can also practice like the pain if you like to. But if you want quiet in your meditation, and you probably won't be able to get the quiet that you get because of your surrounding. So it's a different type of situation. With the surrounding, you can find a quiet place to meditate. But with pain, sometimes you cannot get away from it.
Right.
And you just have to learn to live with it.
Yes.
So before you start meditating, make sure that the place you're meditating will continue to be quiet.
Okay. Because sometimes you go to the temple, suddenly people turn up,
Well, then you say it's time for you to stop meditating and do something else.
Yes. Okay, Tanaja. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, Mike from New York. I haven't talked to you for a few weeks now. You have any questions?
Hey, Ajaan. Thank you so much for calling on me today. Today, I was going to ask about, I guess, Brahmanic goodwill and how to, goodwill, always to keep goodwill as like this method of like protecting yourself and protecting others. But there are situations where your goodwill can be taken advantage of, or your goodwill can kind of be abused, and it can, almost feel as if it's like an opening or a weakness that you're presenting to other people. And so I was just curious if John had any words of wisdom about, how to keep our goodwill in a way that is protective of us, while also, being indiscriminate about how we, channel goodwill to everyone else around us without, being prone to abuse.
Yeah, you just have to use common sense and steer your goodwill toward the proper channel, to the right people. With people who start to take advantage or abuse your goodwill, you still maintain goodwill, but you just don't extend to them. They just, instead of goodwill, you use equanimity toward them. But you still don't get angry or hate them for what they're trying to do to you. You just have to understand this is their nature. Some people just like to take advantage of other people. So you just have to be smarter than them and try not to let them get advantage of you. But if you are dumb enough to let them get advantage of you, you can look at it as charity. This is a form of charity. But they can only fool you once, they cannot fool you many times. So maybe the first time, sometimes you just have to accept that you'll face people who can take advantage of you, who will abuse your goodwill, but they probably can only do it one time. The next time you just have to decline your goodwill. Is this the answer that you think you want?
No, yeah, I think that's very true. I think, the Brahma Viharas is something that I kind of go back to, if my goodwill, if I feel like it is being used, like abused, I try to go back to the Brahma Viharas and try to, go to equanimity and go to metta and go to karuna, and mudita, and like usually that will set me straight. But I was just curious if there was anything, extra protective or just a way of making it so that it's, equally flowing in all directions, But yeah, also by protecting myself, don't want to show goodwill in situations where I want to be in danger or anything like that.
Yeah, you just have to be careful and make sure that you are not taken advantage of. But sometimes if they still can do it, then you just have to accept this. Sometimes you just cannot prevent or protect yourself. But you just have to learn from your mistake, I guess. And at least what you can do is you look at it as what you lose as being a charity. It's you just donation or giving, even though it's not willingly, but it's already taken from you. So why get angry or sad about it? Look at it positively, We have
Do you have any other?
we have a saying, you can lose your money, but don't lose your mind at the same time. Protect your mind. The money is gone, but your mind is still here. Don't lose your mind. Don't get mad or get angry or sad. No, it doesn't bring the money back anyway. Well, doesn't bring what you lose back. So just look at it as a form of charity, although it might be a forced charity. But sometimes it's like taxes you have to pay, right?
That's good. I wonder. I think that is like getting at it. It's like the anger. It's what kind of welled up in me, and that was something I didn't like about myself. And I thought it was just a challenge for me to go from feeling like I was looking out for everyone's interest, and then it turned into this thing where it was turned into an anger that was welling up in me. But meditation definitely helped, and yeah, like you said, equanimity and the four Brahma Viharas. Do you have any other tips for kind of dispelling the anger, or get cooling yourself down when a situation like that does arise? I loved the example of the money as charity or losing things as charity as well.
Yeah, you can forgive. Yeah. And say that this is their nature, this is the way they are, and you cannot change them. And by getting mad at them it's not good for you. You're hurting yourself when you're getting mad. So why get mad? Just let it be. Just forgive and forget, and move on. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you, Ajaan.
Okay, that's all.
That's all for today.
Okay, go to Full Moon. Hi, Full Moon. You're from China, right?
Good evening, Ajaan. Yes, I'm from China.
Okay, what can I help you?
China Sea. When I participate, when I attend the retreat, I have a great improvement. But when I go back home, I cannot sit for a long time, and they are yes, not very good when I'm at home. I cannot sit a long time, I cannot have a good habit to meditation. So I think I need to save more money, and then I can quit my job.
Yes, you need to be in a retreat longer to advance in your practice. And the conditions at home are not conducive for your meditation practice.
Yes. But now I have it. I don't have enough. I don't have enough merit or goodwill to achieve the dream. Yes, I need to work hard for it.
Okay.
Mm.
Anything else?
No. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Samanji from Sri Lanka. Any question tonight?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes, I have 3 questions. Anajan, sometimes letting go of something seems easier said than done. Can we force ourselves to let go, or should we wait for it to come naturally? I mean the feeling, rather than forcing ourselves to let go of something. Maybe something, an attachment or whatever.
You mean, what do you mean? Naturally?
Let go of maybe an attachment, or either attachment to a thing or a living being, maybe to our parents or to our friends or to whoever. Should we like force ourselves, or should it come to us naturally, like the feeling? Rather
they don't come naturally because your attachment is very strong, and you need to diffuse your attachment by looking at the 3 characteristics of existence. Yeah. See that the things that you are clinging to are impermanent. In a way, one day, sooner or later, you will have to lose it. And it's anatta, it's not something you can control.
That means we have to look at it in terms of a Dhamma.
Yes. And if you attach them, it can cause you dukkha. You can have suffering or stress from clinging to something that you cannot hold on to.
Yeah, Thanajan, this my second question came up to me while reading your autobiography actually. Well, I just want to know, when you were in university in California, or even as a child, did you ever feel that life was uncertain?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. This question is related to your autobiography. This actually came up while I was reading your autobiography. I just want to know, when you are in the University of California, or even when you were as a child, did you ever feel that life was uncertain? At what point did you start to feel that the reality of life? Was it particularly after reading that Dhamma, which was given to you by the Sri Lankan?
I saw a corpse at the age of about 12. A brother of a friend, a schoolmate, died from drowning, and they have the funeral with his casket open, and we have to go show respect. So I see a dead corpse, a dead person for the first time in my life. And then it suddenly dawned on me that me too, I will be the same thing. The same thing will happen to me too. And everybody else that I love or cling to we have to die sooner or later. And I start to change my attitude toward people and things, start to see them as being impermanent.
And with that attitude keeping that in your mind, you still went to university and you still did your degree, and it was years after that you decided to become a Buddhist monk. I think having read that Dhamma book given to you by a Sri Lankan, according
Yes,
to
because
okay.
then I wasn't able to live on my own. I still have to.
Okay.
I have to build up my life. So I have to go through the process of going to school
Okay.
and getting a job and so forth. But then as soon as I get the book on impermanence, it start to reinforce my memory of the dead person. And also, besides knowing impermanence by itself is not enough. Knowing how to deal with impermanence is more important. And that's what I learned from the Buddha's teaching, that we can deal with impermanence in a way that will not hurt us, in a way that will make us feel happy. And that is by the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, or the practice of meditation. So then that gives me, I started to look for books on meditation, books on Noble Eightfold Path, start reading, and then start practicing.
Okay, Tanisha. Then I think your interest in the Dhamma could be a samsaric tendency that surfaced, right? Yeah, that's very interesting.
What do you mean by interest in Dhamma is samsara?
It's must be from you must have got it from your past birth.
Probably, yes. I might have seen a lot of death before and have contemplated on death a lot before. So I wasn't surprised or sad when I saw a dead person. Instead of being afraid or anything, I start to expand my perception of death toward all other people, to everybody that I know. Maybe this is something I've been taught to do in my previous life.
Ajaan, thank you so much for that answer. And my next question is, how does the mindset of an arhat differ from that of an anagami? I think an anagami still has attachments like lust, while an arhat has completely eliminated all such defilements. Am I correct?
No, an anagami has completely get rid of his attachment to the body. He doesn't have any more sexual attraction toward the body. He doesn't cling to the body. He doesn't care for the body anymore. As far as the body is concerned, it means nothing to an anagami. But an anagami still have attachment toward his own mental states, his emotion and his feelings, that he yet has to know how to deal with them.
But he doesn't have any lust towards another.
Right, no more sexual lust toward
No more sexual.
to a human body, to a body, a physical body.
But you said he's still attached to his own emotions or feelings.
Yes, his mental state, which you.
For example,
feeling like when you sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. Your mood and emotion change from day to day, from good to bad, from bad to good, and you don't know how yet to. Your defilement wants you to try to make the mental states good all the time, but then this can cause you more stress by trying to force something that you cannot control. So you still have to apply the same characteristics of existence toward your mental state, like you did with the body. And accept that your mental state is impermanent, keep changing. Your mental state is anatta, not under your control. So the only thing you can do is not to react to them. Just let them be. When you do that, then the mental state doesn't bother you. Because you can take them both. Take the good states as well as the bad states as they come.
That means he's not attached to any outside element other than in himself, outside persons or things. He's not attached, but he has some attachment to his own feelings and emotions.
Yes, but he also see that there's no self in himself anymore. Self is just a fragment of the mind's imagination, fictionalized thing created by the mind. Because when your mind stops thinking, the feeling of a self disappear. It's only appear when you start to think of yourself, think of me, think of I, my, and myself. When you stop thinking, then this me, I, mine, myself just disappear. All you have there is just the knowing. And then you see, oh, the true nature of the mind is just merely knowing. And the self comes from the thinking, which come and go. You stop thinking, the self disappear. You start thinking, the self come back again. So you retrain your mind to act as a knower, not as a self, as an observer. Just merely know things as they come and go. No need to react to anything. No need to claim anything that to belong to you, because nothing you claim can belong to you anyway.
My next question is, can a person who claims to be a Sotapanna have preferences for certain foods? For example, if they consume meat, can they be particular about it? Would this be consistent with being a Sotapanna?
Not really. A Sotamana only deal with his body, his attachment to the body, in terms of aging, sickness, and death. Sotapanna can let go of this attachment.
It cannot still be true.
He can accept old age, he can accept sickness, and he can accept death, because this is part of the body's nature that you cannot do anything about. Try to change it, it will only cause you suffering, cause the mind suffering. So by accepting it, then there will be no suffering in the mind when the body get old, get sick, or die.
So he or she cannot be choosy about what he eats. Oh.
Well, this is secondary, really. It's not so important. Usually, as a practitioner of meditation, you tend to take things as they come. Eat what what is available to you.
Okay. So my last question is, in Buddhism, Thanajan, according to Buddhism, what consequences do politicians and public officials face if they misuse public money for personal gain, for their own benefits?
It's stealing, so they're gonna have to be. So when they in the next life, they might have to be there might be their property might be stolen, or the money might be stolen by other people.
Okay, Thanajan, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Nice talking with you, Thanajan.
Okay, you're welcome. Bring some more question next time. Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right. Next, all outsourcing from Malaysia. Okay, now you can speak.
Good evening, Thanajan. May I report my practice?
Sure, go ahead.
Last week, I joined the 9-day meditation retreat online, not in person. Then, just as Thanajan always say, mindfulness is the key. Yeah. So during the retreat, my mindfulness was very firm and very good. And then out of my expectation, when I go for sitting, my mind could focus on the tip of the nose very easily and went into samadhi very fast. Each time I meditate, I didn't expect it to happen. Yes. But after the retreat, I don't think my mindfulness is that strong anymore, because when I mingle with friends, talk and then come back, then my mindfulness is not that good. Only during the retreat, I stay at home and isolation, then my mindfulness was very good. Now I have a craving for a retreat. It's a craving for retreat, a type of tanha.
No, it is Dhamma. It's good craving. It's not bad craving. It doesn't cause suffering. It causes the cessation of suffering by craving for retreat. So it's not considered to be craving. It's considered to be Dhamma or.
Oh, I see.
So it's good to crave for retreat, for Dhamma, for study, Dhamma practice. These are good things to crave for. But it's not the kind of craving that can cause you dukkha.
What about meditation? Have a craving for meditation?
Yes, it's part of the path, and it's part of the Noble Eightfold Path. To crave for the path is good, because it will lead you to the cessation of suffering.
Okay. Okay.
So crave for more retreat, then if you don't crave for it, then you don't go back, see. So if you crave for something, then you go back to it.
I will go for any retreat. Wherever available, I'll go for retreats.
Yeah. Eventually you want to spend all your life in retreat. You don't want to come back home, because home is a noisy place. It's a confusing place.
Right.
When you go to retreat, you find peace and happiness.
But when I did online also, it was very peaceful, because my house is quiet also.
Mm-hmm.
I did online retreat, the last retreat, 9 days I did online. It was good.
Why don't you continue on your own?
Because when I have schedule only, I can follow. Without schedule, I cannot follow.
That means your craving for retreat is less than craving for friends and company. Craving for friends and company, this will lead you to suffering, because one day you're gonna lose your friend, right? And when you lose your friend, you feel sad.
I only mingle with friends when I go for my exercise, group exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, if my friends invite me out to take lunch or go for shopping, I always decline. I don't go. I don't like to go out. So I prefer to stay at home.
Yeah. Try to live alone, stay alone. Then you can spend more time practicing mindfulness and meditation.
Yes.
Okay, I think you know what to do. Sooner or later,
I know.
you can see the difference between having company and being alone.
Yeah, so I prefer not going out with friends.
Yeah,
I always decline.
Yeah, the impact on your mind is different.
I become very antisocial. I don't like to socialize at all.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ajaan.
You're welcome. Next, Kok Seng from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajaan. Ajaan, I'd like to say advice regarding my practice. Usually in the morning from 10 to 12, I'm able to discipline myself to sit. And after 12 p.m., I will stop my meditation and start my preparation for cooking. And so at about 1:30 to before 2 o'clock, usually I will finish my lunch and finish washing the dishes, and my schedule for meditation in afternoon is usually 2 p.m. So during this so-called extra time that I have, sometimes when I'm not mindful, my kilesa will tends to hijack the mind and ask the mind, okay, now there are some time, go and watch some video to relax. And I feel that during this timing after lunch, my body is physically very tired after cooking and after the washing, and mentally also tired because during the cooking process, I have to think a lot. The cooking process, the what ingredients to add, and then the and there's a lot of thinking during the whole cooking process. Very mindful. So physically and mentally, I'm very tired after the washing of the dishes, and I find that during this period, my mind can be weak because the mind may feel the mind and body may feel physically and mentally tired. So the mind may tends to wants to have something to fill up, and that is when the craving, the kilesa will comes in to tell the mind to okay, watch some videos to relax and so on. So my question, Prajan, so how do I teach my mind when when my mind is not mindful enough, and how do I prevent the kilesa from hijacking the mind in such a situation?
Well, if you want to get result, you have to use drastic measure. And the measure that you should use is to skip the meal entirely. Don't eat for that time. Then you can spend time for doing mindfulness practice.
But after my lunch, usually I will not take dinner. So I will need the food for sustenance of the body.
Just eat once a day, and the rest of the day you won't get tired or sleepy from your cooking. If you eat 3 meals a day, then you spend a lot of time on just feeding your body, so you don't have time to feed your mind with mindfulness. So you have to sacrifice the physical comfort if you want to advance in your practice. The Buddha said eat once a day is enough for the body. One meal a day.
Because usually for breakfast will be something very light, just bread.
Why don't you all eat the 3 meals at one time? It's like filling when you go to a gas station to fill in the fuel for your car, you just do it at one time. Put in, fill up the tank once and for all. When do you have to separate it's the same thing as your stomach can take so much food a day. So just fill it up in one time.
Okay, let me try to contemplate and see the let me consider over what Ajaan advised.
Yes, all enlightened monks they practice by eating once a day. You call the Dhutanga, Dhutanga practice. It's just once a day. It's enough to get by, to keep the body going. And you have a lot more time for your mindfulness practice and meditation, and less hindrance also. If you eat a lot, every time you finish eating, you feel sleepy. You want to go sleep rather than meditate, or else doing some pleasure, some sensual pleasure, things like watching movies or something like that. You don't feel like working on your meditation practice. But if you're hungry or you have really full, then your mind will be more alert. And you will want to do more mindfulness practice. Okay, you have to reduce on your food consumption if you want to advance in your meditation practice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me contemplate over what Ajaan mentioned. Yeah. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay, you're welcome. Julia, you're next from Colorado. Colorado.
Hello, Pa Ajaan.
Yes, how are you?
Fine. Is Ajaan okay?
Yes.
Usually I try to ask questions that might relate to practice, but today I feel like maybe I should offer an apology. Last week when Ajahn said that, you know, it was raining a lot, and I said, oh, in Colorado, that sounds kind of nice, you know, because usually in October it's supposed to snow and it's still 45 degrees higher Fahrenheit or 25 degrees higher Celsius than necessary for snow. So, but then I said rain sounded really nice, and I realized that maybe it was horrible because of what's happening in the northern provinces of Thailand. So I just want to say that I meant no respect, and I feel empathy for the people in the flooding. So I'm sorry that I said that.
Oh, no offense
Right.
taken.
Hmm?
No offense taken. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know the proper etiquette when there's it's a very international group. It's so lucky, but it's kind of new on this planet, and there are different ways of being polite, and also I don't know the ways so much of how monks are practicing to be polite. So I'll try to be more careful. Yeah.
As long as you have metta, loving kindness, is enough. You know, this is the language that this is the thing that we use to communicate with people. Is loving kindness. If you have loving kindness, you won't go wrong. Whatever you say or do, do it with loving kindness. Do it with metta.
That's so beautiful. Now I feel like I don't need to ask practice advice because that's perfect. Maybe I'll just listen now.
Okay.
Anumadami.
Natu. Next, Rohini from England.
Good
Hi.
evening, Ajahn.
How's your practice coming along?
It's okay. Doing better now. And I just want to ask a question, Ajahn. In meditation, if I'm aware of every single breath, in and outgoing breath, say for an example, for an hour, does that mean that my mind hasn't wandered, or
It means your mindfulness is probably not continuous. You have gaps in between your mindfulness, and your mind might wander away without you really knowing it.
Without me knowing, and it must have wandered.
Yes. Because if you have continuous mindfulness, you should enter into samadhi within 10 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes.
I feel as, you know, I was aware with every in and outgoing breath, but still the mind, I think, wandered. So um,
Just keep doing it then. Just don't
yeah,
worry about
yeah,
it.
just keep trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just keep practicing though. So yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Next, Diana, Anjali.
Namo Buddhaya, Ajaan Suchart.
Good,
Can you hear
good
me?
morning. Yes, good morning to you.
Yes. I was just listening to everyone, reflecting on my own practice, and with family life, it's we try our best. Like yesterday, we took the day. It was Thanksgiving here, so that the Monday was off. So we took the day, my daughter and myself, and we went walking out in nature, tried to do like practice walking meditation more, and listening to some Dhammatalk. Some struggling is still there with my mother. I last time we went to see her, I wasn't feeling well, so I couldn't do the I couldn't really put myself away in terms of like just focusing on serving her because I wasn't feeling well, so I had to do some things for myself, and then the conflicting needs kind of just overpowering feelings came up with like frustration, and like I had to leave to go somewhere on time, and there wasn't any Buddha or breath available at that moment, so I guess the mindfulness wasn't there. Then I tried to it's a difficult situation because she's aging, but she's not looking like she's aged, so it's kind of it's easy for me to forget, to be compassionate and yeah, we didn't have a very good visit this past week. So
You can think in terms of gratefulness also, that you owe her a lot. She gave you your life, so you should be grateful for that and try to pay back as much as possible, because this is the biggest debt we all have, and no matter what we do, we will not fully repay our debt, the Buddha said to our parents. So thinking
yes.
of that, thinking of how great, how much they have done for you, and now it's your turn for you to return the favor.
This is actually where I feel I wasn't too successful, because as I left the situation and I had some time to spend and reflect on that, I did come around, I talked to a friend and she had different views, and I felt uncomfortable about her views. And then in the end, I came back to that same view of being grateful for the things that my mom has done for me and is doing. However, on that background, I didn't feel successful in my communication with her, because in that moment I was still frustrated and couldn't really fulfill my, like I wasn't completely sure what she wanted from me in that particular moment. And then later when I've come away, I realized she just wanted me to listen to her, like to hear her out and to possibly like do what she was asking me to do. Now the hearing out, I could have done like summertime before, when I didn't have to take my daughter here and there. And somehow when like there's just, once she starts talking, there's no stopping. So
just
then
let
I
her
don't know.
talk. Just let her talk.
Yes, but what to do about that? I have to leave. I feel so rude and frustrated because I have to leave, but she's still talking. Yeah.
Well, you just have to find some excuse and say, I have to go now, Mom. See you next week, and just walk off.
Yeah.
You have to sometimes cut the conversation short and just say, you have to go. bye and just walk away.
Yeah, so I guess I'm waiting for her to agree and let me go, but then it doesn't quite happen. And sometimes
Well,
it's, yeah.
if it doesn't happen, then you have to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I do make it happen. It's just that by that time I'm so by that time I don't have mindfulness and I'm feeling quite angry, I suppose, that like I feel angry that I'm feeling so tense that I am not able to live harmoniously. Like it has to be like against her will, more or less, kind of thing. And
Well, you just have to use common sense. Maybe she just talked too much more than what she has to, and you have no time to listening to her, and then you just have to accept this is the fact of life. That sometimes she
yes,
talks too much, and you don't have enough time to give her to listen to what she has to say. So you have to cut short her conversation.
yes. I was trying to analyze how come the previous 2 times were so successful in terms of me serving her. And that was because like I really focused on a task that I had to do. Like I had to vacuum her whole house. So that like that took like an hour and a half. And she was spending time with my daughter, and then we left. So it was like very focused. There was no time. And then the following time I was washing her home. Like so then once like while I was engaged in those tasks, there wasn't room and communication for tension to arise. And then this time I had to do things for my daughter and myself. So then it was different from the last 2 times. And I do find it difficult that she seems to be nervous and feeling worried about like almost everything. It's tricky because then when I'm feeling well, I can like, oh yes, like, you know, I can arrive at some point of easing things for her. But then when my mind is thinking about like, you know, going to the bank and getting the groceries and like all those worldly things, there seems to be I seem to have like no emotional capacity to like, because I'm on one track, and then if I switch tracks, that means I won't get things done, which means I basically just means it's cutting into my practice time. That's what it's all about. Because then I end up with no practice time, like for Dhamma and sitting.
Well, you should have to decide what you want to do more, your own practice or help your mother. If you have only so much time, then you just have to make time, I guess. If you don't have time for yourself, if you make time for her first, or you want to make time for you first and she come last, it's up to you to decide.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to kind of keep it balanced, so then I have like, so I can keep my calm in communication, and but it just seems to like she said,
you know the best way to be calm, you listen to people talking. Don't listen to them, just pretend you're listening, but your mind's away somewhere else. Then you can stay calm all the time.
yeah. I find
keep reciting Bhutto when you're
Buddha,
listening.
yeah. I find that if I set my mind prior to communicating with her that like if I connect to Buddha, then everything goes well. But if it's something like suddenly that happens and I haven't gone into Buddha, and then my emotions are spinning and I'm like, oh, where's Buddha? But I just can't seem to hang on to it in that moment. But maybe I'll use your advice to just like find some excuse and quickly like just say, oh, I have to go really quick, and then find my Buddha and then return. Maybe that's a good solution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just another issue with my daughter, she seems to be like still experiencing some a lot of nighttime discomfort, and it's kind of frustrating for me because sometimes it gets better, but other times just like we just kind of spend the night reflecting on like the chanting, and eventually it works, but it's kind of like the first half of the night is always very like sleepless, to be honest. It's either the first half or the second half. Like sometimes she just wakes up at 3 and she wants me to like hold her, and she's scared of this or that. And I'm just wondering if, and eventually I run out of resources, you know, like I'm not like infinite, right? So then I'm frustrated with that.
Just accept your limitation. You can only do so much.
Yeah.
Just do what you can. And if that's not enough, then it's too bad.
Yeah. Well, I've sort of arrived to that because she's going to be 8 now, and she understands that like if we are not sleeping at night, it's not very safe to be driving long distances. That means we have to let some things go during the day. And I see her understanding, and I see her struggle to kind of get a grip on it, but she just seems to, like, you know, she's struggling, you know, she's not making it up. So then I feel bad. So yeah, so I think the decision we arrived at this morning is that if we weren't going to get some things done, it would be okay. Just, yeah.
You know, sometimes it's good to let her cope with her own situation.
Can you say that again?
Sometimes you might want to just leave her alone and let her cope with her own situation without you having to help her. This is the way of teaching her to grow up, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that she has to come to you all the time and she feel bad or need. Sometimes she has to learn to live with feeling bad without any outside help.
So like, because it's just her and I, there's nobody else that she has. I'm wondering like, how long should I've been trying to give her, like yesterday I gave her half an hour before I checked in on her. And then eventually things wound down. But what about like, sometimes it takes like 3 hours before she comes around. I'm just wondering if it's too long. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep experimenting with that, I guess.
Yes.
Because she's shown me her anger more since I haven't come to her rescue. And it seems that it's not something that I
It's
can
okay. Let you get angry.
Yeah.
So what? You cannot prevent that. It's her nature. When she doesn't get what she wants, she get angry.
Yeah.
But you can teach her that this is part of life. Sometimes you get what you want, and sometimes you don't get what you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that means I'm sort of trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, teach her that disappointment is part of the learning process. If we learn to accept disappointment, then we will be better off next time when we run into something that we don't like, or we get disappointed. We learn how to accept it, see, rather than being unhappy or angry at things. You just learn to accept that sometimes this is the way things are in life. Sometimes you get what you want, and sometimes you don't get what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll focus more on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then amidst all that, yeah, I guess I'm sitting like maybe every other day, and it always makes me feel happy when I get to my practice. And just how to make it happen every day you know, unforeseen things coming and going. Okay.
All right. Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Lynn from Indonesia. Is your mom still here or she's gone?
Mom is still here. She's meditating upstairs.
I see. Okay, anything? Any question?
I got a few things tonight. I'm going to stay in the monastery for 3 months, starting from next week. So would like some kind of advice from Ajahn.
Well, first you have to follow the rules that you're in a monastery. And then try to have as much time as possible for your practice. Sometimes you might get lost doing other things with other people. But you have to know that your main purpose is to meditate, to practice mindfulness. But if you find that the monastery doesn't provide you with the time to meditate or practice, then maybe it's not good to go there. If they require you to do other work, other things. Well, I don't know what kind of monastery you're going to stay at. Are they meditation monastery or what?
Are we going to Perth, Dhammatalk?
See, to Ajahn Brahm?
Yes.
I see. Okay, I think that's okay then. Try to mingle as little as possible. Mingling or socializing is not good for meditation. But sometimes you have to do some as a matter of courtesy.
Yes.
But whenever you can, try to meditate, try to practice alone, if you're allowed to do.
I've brought 3 books from Wat Yen last time when I traveled to Ajaan's monastery. I finished reading those books and I found that they are very good. So is that okay if I donate those books to the library of this monastery?
It's your book now. You can do whatever you want with them. Okay.
And lastly, just like to thank Ajahn for all the teachings and kindness, and also to admin for having me here and everybody in here. So,
okay, you're welcome.
I'll try to be online if I could, because there would be time difference, and I don't know how it will go. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next, Nita from California. I saw Saket came in earlier. He's gone now. Huh? He left.
Yes, I think he tried to dial in and maybe he got interrupted because it's the dinner time with parents, I guess. So I had one question, Ajahn. So I've been talking to my family and I see that some of my family members, they have a lot of expectations from each other and they've been fighting and having trouble living with each other. And because of that, their child is also suffering because of the fights that they have at home. I tried to calm them down. I tried to tell them life is short, and I tried to talk to them about Dhamma, whatever I could, but they are not open to listening. They are deluded and I see them suffering a lot. But I was thinking if Ajahn can guide me on how to handle this skillfully, how if there is at all, if there is a way, if I can help them.
Well, help them if they want your help, but if they don't want your help, then you have to stop.
It feels like they do need help, but when I try to help them,
It means they don't want to. They don't want you to help them.
it's difficult because in a way I feel that I am also suffering because I feel helpless and yeah. I guess I cannot help them.
Yes, you cannot force something they don't like upon them. You know, if they don't like it, then you have to stop.
Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay. Like you say, life is short. Eventually, we all will have be gone anyway. So why try to live unhappily? Live happily by letting go. Okay.
It feels like if they are unhappy, how can I be happy? Because they are part of my family, and just feels bad to feel happy when they are not.
But what can you do when you try to help them and they deny your help? They don't need your help. At least you try your best. The Buddha says sometimes people are just not not in the position to be helped. The Buddha said you have to let them go, let them be. It's the karma to be like that. Use equanimity. Sometimes when you try to use loving kindness and it doesn't work, then you have to use equanimity in order to prevent yourself from becoming sad, because you cannot help other people. Sometimes you can help people, sometimes you cannot help them. So when you cannot help them, don't be sad because you cannot help them. You just have to accept that this is the truth. This is the way this is how things work sometimes. And you can only use equanimity to protect your mind from becoming sad. The Buddha said you should recite the word, we have our own karma. We have to be whatever our karma make us to be. So people are made up by their own karma. Sometimes you cannot change them. Like they are apples, you cannot change them into oranges. They remain to be apples. If they want to be oranges, they have to change it themselves, not you. You cannot change them. You can recommend, you can tell them how to change, but if they don't want to change, then there's nothing you can do. Okay,
Thank you, Ajaan.
you're welcome. Next, Nining from Indonesia.
Yeah, Ajahn. Good evening, Ajahn. Yesterday, I have a clue that I will lose my money. And then I tell my mom about this. So I decide not going out of home and not doing any transaction. But unfortunately, in the evening, I need to send some goods using the application. And unfortunately, the driver breaking the products and I lost almost 1 million rupiah. When this happened, I just calm and not react. Like Ajahn said to Mike just now that my money is gone, but my mind is here. In the previous, if I have that kind of clue, I will do few action to cancel that bad karma. For example, I start my morning by transfer some money for charity and do the tradition ritual which is putting some stick in a tissue and pour with some salt and bury them in the yard. So my question is, if I cancel my vision, the vision of bad karma that will happen to me, does it against Dhamma?
You cannot prevent the consequence of the karma that will happen to you. When it's time for it to come, it will come. Regardless of whatever you do, you cannot stop that from coming.
Yeah. That's why in this case, I'm not pretty sure. Does the vision tell me to cancel the unexpected event or to prepare my mind to accept everything? Because when I get the good clue, that good thing happened to me flawlessly. That happened to me flawlessly. If I get the good clue, never fail. But if the bad clue, I'm thinking of sometimes I also have vision, the bad thing will happen to my friend. So I just let it happen, or I can do some effort, for example, do meditation or do some good deeds and for her or for him, like that.
You can try to do it, but be ready to accept if it doesn't work.
Yeah. But in the previous Ajahn, when I get the bad clue and then I do some good deeds, yeah, for example, meditation, and then I transfer money for donation charity, like that, and then I did the tradition that put some stick and bury them in the yard. That bad thing will not happen. But yesterday, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to see what will happen. And then that bad thing happened to me, but I don't react, and I don't feel any loss or anything. I just that this is the clue, just like that.
Yes, the important thing is to protect your mind from being unhappy, from being sad, by accepting everything as they come. Whatever will be. Just accept that. Whether you have clue or not clue, it doesn't matter. Just face the truth with equanimity. You don't have to do anything. If they come, they come. If they don't come, they don't come. But your mind will always remain calm and peaceful. That's the important thing. We cannot change things around us, but we can protect our mind from going mad.
Yesterday is the first time I don't do anything, because previously I always try to do something.
Yes, it's up to you. Whether you do or you don't do, eventually you're gonna lose everything anyway when you die.
Yeah, I see. That's why in this states, I just I don't mind whether it happened or not. It doesn't
Matter, doesn't matter.
doesn't matter to my mind. That's the beauty of yesterday. Even I just, this is so no problem. Anything can happen to me, because it's the same. I don't feel any loss anymore, like that.
You lose everything that you win. Whatever you win, you'll lose it one day.
Yeah.
Because we all come, we come empty-handed, and when we go empty-handed. We don't take anything with us. We didn't take anything with us when we came, and we won't take anything with us when we go. Our mind, we leave everything behind. So why become unhappy? Because this is the fact that will happen.
Yeah. That's why thank you for the teaching, because I feel the benefit of listening to Ajahn teaching and reading all of the question and answer in Facebook, because it changed the way I think.
Yeah, you have to think of everything as anicca. The Buddha said everything is anicca. Everything is impermanent. Everything is anatta. Doesn't belong to us. Belong to nature.
Yes.
So we cannot take anything with us when we go.
Yeah.
But we can take peace of mind with us when we go. If we let go of everything else.
And everything becomes so easy in this life.
Yes, we make it hard on our own because of our delusion, thinking that we can keep everything that we have. So we work so hard trying to protect things that we have, not wanting to lose them. But we forget that in the end we're gonna lose them anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Aparachita from Dubai. You're back from Thailand.
Good evening, Prajan. Yes, I'm back from Thailand, and it was wonderful to see you and visit your monastery, and just it was lovely.
Happy to
And
see you too.
yes, and much as it was a very interesting experience. So much as there were so many blessings, I realized taking a group is very difficult. People are very different. Like
Yes.
some people love it, and some people were like kind of like, oh, we don't want to do this. We want to go out and have fun. And it was a very challenging situation for me to be in. And so, of course, I made sure they also had fun because I didn't want them to be upset. But a part of me finds it so difficult, like to be in that spot. Like some people are really moved and some people have a totally different reaction. And you do say that apples are apples, oranges are oranges, but I still get that knot. How can I get over this?
Well, you have to accept the fact that you can please some people some of the time, but you cannot please all people all of the time.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, my people-pleasing problem. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's right.
Yes. So I have to live with that. It's like, okay, just
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't expect anything. Don't expect them to be happy. You know, they come on their own. You didn't force them to come with you. So if they
No.
come, then they just have to accept your leadership.
Yes. Yes, you understand exactly what you're saying. Yes. Yes, that was the challenge. So yes, I guess a part of me has to just say, okay, I didn't succeed according to them, but I did my best, and that's about it.
I think this might be a lesson for you that next time you probably don't want to do it again.
You're right. I think I'll take my own journeys and let people come who wants to come. Yes,
Yeah, that's
true.
better. Let them
I
come
think that's better.
if they like to. Don't
Yeah.
try to sell the idea to them, you know.
Yes. And I didn't want to do it like a selling idea at all. I wanted to do it like I said, this is just, but still, I guess it's that responsibility, and I guess I shouldn't take it unnecessarily. Yes. But thank you. It was so lovely, and you gave us the books, and it's very nice to have that book with me.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes. And we took some cute photos of the dogs and the beautiful young children who come and nicely put the towels. That was so beautiful to see. There was a little boy in the monastery as well, I think. So yeah, and everybody was peaceful. So that was lovely.
Okay.
And I will keep
Happy
that.
to hear that you enjoy your trip.
I did, yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Next, Sri and Czech from Vancouver. Where's
Hello.
Check today? She's busy.
Yeah, no, she isn't feeling well, and
Oh,
neither am I. So she's resting now after taking medicine.
yeah,
Can
we
you hear me,
are.
Ajahn?
Yes, we are subjected to
Oh,
aging, sickness, and death.
yeah, yeah. So I take this opportunity to meditate. Like, of course it's not easy, but at least there's a chance for me.
Yeah, to learn to accept sickness as part of your life.
Yeah, only develop like mindfulness, like, or it will help with less suffering. And of course, like I do understand that we need the right understanding, right? The knowledge.
Yes. We
And
we don't like getting sick. So when we get sick, we feel terrible. So we have to change our attitude. Sickness is part of our life. That we cannot run away from it. So when it comes, try to embrace it rather than trying to deny it.
okay.
Just look at sickness as an old friend. Occasionally you have an old friend visiting you.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, they're gonna come.
Yeah, we have no choice.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I take this opportunity to meditate. Of course, it wasn't easy. But at least we'll have to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tan Ajahn, a question. Like for Noble Eightfold Path, once we develop right view, then we move on to right understanding. How does it work? Like,
Now, right view move to right thinking.
right thinking.
Yeah, right view and right understanding is the same thing.
Okay.
So, like I said, if you have the right view, then you'll see that the body will get sick. There's no way of getting around it. You're gonna have to be sick. So when you have this right view, then you start to think that I better be ready, prepared for getting sick. Accepting it. This is right thinking. See? Teaching the mind to accept getting sick. This is right thinking. I will be sick one day, sooner or later. I cannot run away from it. So I have to learn to accept it. That's it. If I don't want to have any sadness or stress, then I just have to accept it. This is thinking, teaching your mind to accept things as because this is what will happen. It is the truth. Accept the truth of life.
Oh. So meaning the right view or right understanding means I know that we are going to get sick, get old.
Yes, so you have to teach your mind. You have to think, I have to be ready to get old. I have to be ready to get sick. I have to be ready to die.
And that is the next noble truth.
Yeah, by thinking, by teaching your mind to accept.
By teaching, okay.
Thinking is teaching your mind. See?
Okay, and we need to get to jhana, like
And
to
the way to deal with our sickness is to calm our mind, not reacting to the sickness. Just let the sickness come and go by having equanimity. So you need to meditate. So you have to have right mindfulness.
Yeah.
And get into jhana, and then you have right meditation, right samadhi. Once you have jhana, then you will not be affected by the sickness.
Then the last part is the wisdom. Okay.
Wisdom is the right view that you started with in the first place.
Oh, then you go back to okay. And then those right speech, right livelihood, right action. Those are the precept. Like
yes,
that
those are
we
the
do.
precepts. When you have to deal with people or things, you have right speech, right action, so you don't cause any harm to other people.
And Tan Ajahn, like if we keep precept, will we get like happiness to a certain level, and then when we achieve like jhana, we get happiness to another level? That's
Yes.
happiness, right? When you
Yes.
keep precept.
Well, when you keep precept, you're not hurting other people, so nobody come and hurt you in return.
Okay.
So you feel
So that is
happy.
not the
You feel happy that no one is gonna hurt you because you don't hurt them in the first place. But when you hurt
that's the
someone, when you're hurting somebody, you know you don't feel good because you know you might be retaliated from your action. So if you
but
don't
then the
hurt other
jhana
people,
is
jhana is for calming the mind.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
So not to react to your bad condition, your sickness, for instance. If you have jhana, then your mind will not react with any what you call aversion or hatred toward your sickness. You just remain calm and let the sickness come and go by itself. Then there will be no suffering arising in your mind.
Yeah, I can see I have a desire to make the body gets better. So that is the desire.
And
Like,
desire
it's
or
kind of like,
craving, craving for being, craving to get well. And when you don't get well yet, then you become unhappy.
Yeah.
But
My struggle.
if you don't have the craving for the body to get well, just leave it alone. Then you don't feel bad. You just remain calm and peaceful, and let the body heal itself. Sooner or later, the sickness will go away. But if it doesn't go away, it doesn't matter either. You can take it both ways. Whether they're here or whether they are gone, your mind remain calm, not reacting. So we want to teach our mind not to react to anything, just to be accepting rather than reacting, just accepting things as they are because we cannot change them. Can you change your sickness right now and say, go away?
No, I can take medicine.
Like changing your clothes. You don't like this set of clothes, you change into a set of new clothes. You cannot do that with sickness. You have to wait for the process to change itself. And sometimes some sickness don't go away. They stay with you forever. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, struggling.
If you try
Right,
to
that's like
if you want to change it and you cannot change it, then you get frustration, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
if you accept it, then you don't get any frustration. You just accept things as they are.
yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I get frustrated. Oh, I want it to get better, but then I move my mind back to like keep reciting Buddha, 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 and then
And then
it's kind
you
of like
feel better. Then you feel better.
yeah,
After you,
back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then you have to use wisdom. So you have to use right view.
Okay.
The body is subjected to sickness, and there's nothing you can do or anything about it when it happens. You just have to wait for it to go away. And if it doesn't go away, then you just have to learn to live with it. That's all. Because some sickness might not go away.
Yeah.
But you will not have any stress or suffering. You might will feel peaceful and calm, living with the sickness. Okay.
So thank you, Tanjan.
What?
Yeah, that's so eventually we'll have to contemplate one is the sickness and then old age and then death.
And accept them all, embrace them rather than try to deny them. Our denial is causing us suffering. See? But our acceptance will get rid of the suffering.
So when we want to get to first stage enlightenment, we will have to contemplate these three.
That this is the nature of the body, and the body is not you. The body is just a formation of the four elements. That you just happen to take possession of, like a car, like an automobile. You buy a car, you possess it, you own it for a while, then eventually the car will break down, then you have to give it up. But you're the driver. The driver continue on without the car. Same way with the body. Eventually the body will dissolute, will dissolve, return to the four elements. Then the mind, which possess the body, will then go on to the next life. But how it goes on, that's a matter of training the mind. You can go on peacefully or you can go on unhappily. If you cling to anything, when you have to leave them, when you lose them, you will be sad when you're separated from them. But if you don't cling to them because you know that you're going to have to lose them, then when you lose them, you don't feel any sadness. No suffering if no attachment. Suffering comes from attachment to the things that you have to lose. So don't cling to anything that you know you're gonna have to lose. Even your body, right? You're gonna have to lose your body one day.
Yes.
Okay. Don't cling to it. Let it go.
So, Ajahn, like if I train my mind, okay, I just let it go, then I don't have to worry about my next life. Like if I didn't get to enlightenment, like my next life will be somewhere, and we don't have to worry about that, right? But we just have to worry about that moment. I don't have to cling to my body.
Well, there are few things that you do. The main goal is not to cling to your body. But the process of how not to cling to the body can sometimes be handled wrongfully. Like if you're trying to break the precept, for instance, doing bad karma to protect, you have to also be mindful of your action, whatever you do, because your action can cause your rebirth to be good or bad. But your main goal is to be able to let go of your attachment to your body. But that is harder than keeping the precepts.
Yeah.
So in case you cannot yet let go of your attachment to your body, when your body die, you will have suffering when you die. And then you go on to the next life, depending on the good or bad karma that you perform in this lifetime. So you want to go to a happy state, then do good karma more than bad karma. If you do more bad karma than good karma, then you will have to go to a miserable state.
Yeah, that's the Noble Eightfold Path.
Yeah, there are two goals. The main goal is to stop rebirth. If you can stop rebirth, then your good or bad karma will not take effect once you have no rebirth anymore. But if you haven't yet reached that point, then you have to be under the influence of your good or bad karma. If you have to be reborn again, then your good or bad karma will be the influencer of your life, your next life. Whether you have a better life or a worse life depends on your good or bad karma that you do in this lifetime. But once you stop rebirth, then the good or bad karma doesn't matter anymore because it cannot take effect because there is no rebirth. So these are two separate goals, but they go together. Your main goal is to stop rebirth. But if you haven't yet achieved in this lifetime, then you want to make sure that your rebirth is a good rebirth rather than a bad rebirth. So you need to do more good karma than bad karma to guarantee that you have a better rebirth.
Okay. And Tanajan, if a good rebirth, like if I still want to kind of have a chance to learn Dharma, like what kind of karma that we have to do? Like because the next life.
Practice the Dhamma right now, see, until you become a Sotapanna. Then it will be inbred in your mind forever, which no matter where you go, where you're born, you will continue on with your Dhamma practice.
Develop sati and keep the precept.
Yeah, and reach the first stage of enlightenment. And once you have that, then the Dhamma is installed in your mind, like in the computer. You have a program, before you can use it, you have to install it in the computer, right?
Yes.
Okay, the Dhamma is like that. The Dhamma is like a program. So if you want the Dhamma to work in your mind, you have to install it. And the process of installation is becoming enlightened. Once you reach the first stage of enlightenment, it means you have installed the application in the software in your mind. So it goes with your mind into the next life. If you haven't yet reached the Nibbana, the end of rebirth, but you will have the Dhamma with you, and you will be practicing the Dhamma without anybody telling you to do. You will do it naturally.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you have to follow the Eightfold Path. Right action, right speech is good karma. See, for you do good karma. In case you haven't yet reached the end of rebirth, then your good karma will give you better rebirth, good rebirth the next time.
Okay.
And then you try to teach your mind to have the wisdom to see the three characteristics of existence. See that the body is not yourself. See that the body is anicca, temporarily subjected to aging, sickness, and death. And try to let go of your attachment to your body. Once you can let go of the attachment, then whatever happens to the body will not cause you any pain, any suffering. And then you keep on practicing until you reach the fourth level of enlightenment. Then you stop rebirth completely. The first stage you will still make you return for a maximum of seven more rebirths before you can reach full enlightenment. You might have to come back 7 more times to finish the work. It depends on how hard you work. If you work hard, you might finish it in this lifetime. If you're lazy, then you might have to kick the bucket down the road. I'll do tomorrow, for instance.
Do it next
I'll do it
lifetime.
next lifetime.
Let me enjoy first.
Because the Sotapanna still wants to have a wife, have a family, wants to enjoy sensual pleasure.
Yeah, still sensual pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Tajan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, Indira, where's Piao? Is he working?
Good morning from Toronto, Ajaan. Yes, he had to. Yesterday was a holiday because of Thanksgiving, so a lot of patients today, so he had to go. Yes, but the discussion with Svi was very enlightening. Learned so much, and yes, thank you so much. And many other topics too was very close to my heart, so learned so much. Thank you. One thing I would like to just add is, I think it's Mike who said, like, sometimes when you practice loving kindness or, all a lot of the time, some people don't, I mean, you can be violated or abused. So what I feel is like some time ago, I felt this way too. But what I now think is, this is something from Ajahn Brahm that I picked when he was here. He always says, just like you said, common sense, he said, loving kindness coupled with wisdom will always, because that way, like, you don't get hurt, you use your common sense or wisdom at that time. So thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, loving kindness is like medicine.
Yes.
When you use medicine, you have to use wisdom to know how much you should use.
Yes.
And when or how, who to use it to.
That is so true. I learned it now. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn.
You just don't sign a blind check and say, okay, take the check and do whatever you want.
True. So true.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ajahn. Teruan Saranai.
Next, Levan from California.
Hi, Dhammatalk. I do have questions today. I just want to understand why is it such a natural instinct for the eyes to look at beautiful things? And for me, it's like could be like beautiful scenery or like beautiful architectures, and I just admire those and say, oh wow, this is so much creativity. And it just happens so naturally. Sometimes looking at paintings and stuff. And I know that it's part of the sensual pleasure, like the enjoyment, but it just happens so quickly. And I wonder, I'm just curious about why I do that naturally.
Because your mind has been programmed to do these things. It's been programmed like a computer program. So it reacts very quickly. As soon as you see something you like, you get a good feeling right away. And it's also the opposite is true. When you see something you don't like, you also react with bad feeling right away. Bad feeling will arise in your mind right away.
And is that why you said that it's important for us not to have preference, like to practice not to have preference for things?
Yes, because our preference will lead us to craving for something or craving for getting rid of something. Sometimes we can get them, sometimes we cannot get them. So when we cannot get them, then we become sad or unhappy. But if we don't have any preference, we just merely know them for what they are and have no cravings for them, then there will be no sadness or no suffering because you don't need them. See, the problem with our minds, we're not happy. We need something to make us happy. But the Buddha discovered that the mind can be happy with nothing by meditation. So once you meditate successfully, then you feel that you're happy without having to have anything. Then whatever you see, you can remain neutral. You don't have to like or dislike. You just merely see them and no reaction toward them, whether positive or attraction or negative attraction to them.
Actually, this leads me to a question. I do like meditation, but sometimes there is a deep fear in me that if I meditate a lot, I won't be able to like functions. I mean, in terms of like I still have responsibility like studying and other responsibility. Sometimes I feel like there's some part of me kind of afraid that if I meditate a lot, I just not able to function like a normal person. And I wonder, is it a valid fear or just my mind making up the things?
Because you haven't studied the benefit of meditation. See? So this is just your own conjecture about meditation, which is not right. Look at the Buddha. He's the master of meditation. What did he do for the world? Okay. Look at the noble disciple. They all the good things for the world. They teach people. Even in their later years, they can continue teaching and helping people.
Like your case.
Like my case. So no, meditation will give you an alert mind, happy mind all the time. But you also have wisdom to choose when to act and when not to act. If your action doesn't produce any benefit, then you don't act. You only act when you see that you will produce benefits. Or if your action will cause harm, then you don't act either. So you have wisdom to know whatever you do, what kind of result will come from your action. So you choose the right action every time you do something. You make sure you do or say something right.
I will be a better human being, actually.
That's right. Because once you become enlightened, once you become happy within yourself, you don't need anything. So you don't have to be selfish. You don't have to be competing with other people for all the resources in this world. You don't have to go compete after money or mundane wealth, whatever, because you're happy, you have contentment within yourself. You don't need anything. You only have the body to feed, and you can live simple. Doesn't have to be an extravagant lifestyle. Once your mind is happy, then you don't need anything. Then you can give your time for other people.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
All right. Okay. You're welcome. Next, Gary from Singapore.
No question, Ajahn, just here to listen.
Okay. Let's go to Saket now. Saket, Nita just came in earlier. Are you in California or are you in India?
Hello, Ajahn. Yes, I'm in India right now. And sorry, I was actually trying to change my name on Zoom, and I think I somehow came to that.
Doesn't matter.
So, Ajahn, I had a couple of questions. One was that, sometimes there are friends who like to talk about the Dhamma. And then one such friend later realized that they aren't interested in meditation or anything of the sort. They just want to kind of, talk about Dhamma because that excites them or interests them. But then I was just wondering, like, we want to be respectful of the Dhamma as well. So is it okay to discuss the Dhamma with friends? And then is it okay to discuss the Dhamma with friends who seem to be only into it for intellectual reasons?
Well, it's okay to discuss Dhamma. But as far as what people are gonna do with the Dhamma, it's up to them. You cannot force them. See, before you can practice, you have to study the Dhamma teaching first. And it might take some time for some people before they realize that the next step is to practice.
Yes.
Because maybe they're not ready for it yet. So they just want to study and talk about it. the Dhamma teaching, but they don't want to do the practice yet because maybe they don't have the time for it, or maybe they don't have the strength to force the mind to do the practice yet. So this is something you just have to accept them for what they are.
Yes, thank you.
But discussing Dhamma is better than discussing politics, for sure. When you discuss about politics, you can become very excited or become very agitated,
Absolutely, yes, Ajahn, thank you. And I had one other question, maybe a silly question. I was wondering, in some places, when they sit to meditate, they turn off all the air conditioners and all the fans and everything. And in some places, the ACs are running. And I was just curious, is it important or is it okay?
It depends on whether you're a serious or amateur practitioner. See? If you're an amateur practitioner, you probably want to have all the physical comfort with your practice. But if you're a serious practitioner, then you know that you have to take the thing naturally. So you don't try to use anything to help in your meditation. You only use mindfulness. And as far as the surrounding conditions, like the temperature, you just let to accept them for what they are. You don't want to have to be in common with trying to adjust the temperature just to suit your physical comfort. Because if you meditate, you have to learn to accept the discomfort, the physical discomfort that comes with meditation. Like early on, I gave an answer that you have to eat once a day instead of 3 meals a day. This is having physical discomfort. But you need to have this thing in order to advance in your meditation practice. Because of the reason why you cannot advance in your meditation practice is because of your attachment to the physical comfort. People don't realize that. So they meditate with air condition or with fan or whatever. Look at the Buddha. There was no fan, no air conditioning in his time. How come he became enlightened?
Yes, Ajahn.
We study the Dhamma teaching, but we don't study the Dhamma practice of the Buddha and the noble disciple, how they practice, how they live. They live rough, they live in the forest. They have no houses. They're living under caves, they're living under trees. But those are the places that will enable your meditation to proceed, to advance. Okay, so you have to give up discomfort, physical discomfort, if you want to advance in your spiritual pursuit.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Ajahn. Thank you.
No pain, no gain. Remember this, okay? No pain, no gain. No physical pain, no spiritual gain. Okay.
Certainly.
All right, next. Belinda from Singapore. No question.
It's 11 of them. So
Okay. Yeah, go on. We have a couple more people left.
okay.
Okay, next is Steph. Steph from Oregon.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
Good.
I just have a quick question. I guess. So anatta is nature?
Yes, no self. Everything is
self.
anatta. The wind, the rain, the sky, the body, these are all part of nature.
The sky right now is gray and it will be for the next 9 months. And I'm feeling that. And so I'm trying to just remind myself, it's just not self. It's just
nature.
It's just lack of sun. Okay.
And it will change also. It's impermanent also.
It is impermanent. It's a long time without sun, but
Yes.
I will survive it. Okay.
Oh, you survived for how many years now?
Yeah, I've been here 4 years and I don't want to leave because it's so beautiful and there's so much nature, but it is hard to get so squirrely every winter.
You cannot control nature. You have to comply with nature.
Yeah. And it is a rainforest here, so we need all the rain.
Yes.
And that's all I really have. I just also wanted to say how much I love everybody in the group. And Lynn, good luck. I just love all you guys. So thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Alice. Hi, Alice. You're from France, but you live in Bangkok.
Good evening, Canadian. Yes, exactly. I live in Bangkok, but I'm French, and I have a few questions tonight.
Go ahead.
So my first question is that I spent a lot of years to learn many things and become someone, but unfortunately, I keep losing my jobs, and I feel like I have bad karma because things at work don't turn out happen good for me. What can you suggest?
Well, life is like this. You cannot predict what's gonna happen. Que sera, sera. This is the nature of life. Sometimes you expect something to happen, but it doesn't happen. Sometimes you don't expect something to happen, and they happen. So you have to have this attitude of accepting things as they come. Que sera, sera. Do your best. Do whatever you can.
So not get discouraged too much.
That's right. As long as you have to live, you have to work, to do things. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This is the part of life.
Thank you, Rajan. I also have one question. I feel that my body with age is changing, and I try to keep it as a woman that beautiful, and I start to be ashamed of my body. What can you teach me about it?
Well, the body will steadily become older and older with everyone. So we are all the same. Eventually, we'll be old people, and eventually the body will stop breathing. Then the body will become a corpse. So we have to look at the cycle of the body from birth to death, and accept that this is the reality of the body that we cannot change, we cannot escape from. But we are not the body. We are just the user of the body. We are the master of the body. The body is our servant. We tell the body what to do for us. But the body will have to get old, get sick, and die one day. So we just have to teach ourselves to accept this reality. If we can accept it, then there will be no bad feeling about it. We have bad feeling because we expect the body to stay beautiful, stay young all the time. That's because we lack the right information about the body. So we have to feed the right information, reminding ourselves that the body is constantly changing. It's constantly aging. It's going to get older and older, and someday it will get sick, and someday it will die. Once you teach the mind to accept this thing, then the mind will not react badly when this thing happens.
Thank you.
Understand?
And one other question. Sometimes I don't know how to cope with my bad emotions that arise, and I turn to things that are not healthy for me, such as maybe alcohol or coffee, or things that I want to avoid that make me feel temporarily good, but not really solve my bad feelings.
You have to practice meditation, learn how to meditate. Whenever you feel bad, You can use meditation to calm your mind, your bad feelings. They will disappear. But it might take time for you to be able to master your meditation practice. But you have to start to do it now. In the meantime, try to avoid doing things that can be harmful to you, even though they might be a temporary fix, but they can become a problem later on, like drinking coffee, anything like that. Try to do something more positive, like running, jogging, doing something that that is good for your body, that doesn't harm your body. When you feel bad, go jogging or do some running or do some exercising or something.
And
Or
also,
you can do some charity work also if you like when you feel bad. Go to help someone, help the needy, help the sick. This is a good way of dealing with your bad emotion. To do charity work, help other people, then it will make you feel good when you see that what you did can make people better, happier.
thank you, Ajahn. And one last question about my practice. I feel very often pain in both of my legs when I sit for too long. Is there a way to solve that?
Well, if you're a beginner, you can sit on a chair instead. If you cannot sit legged, cause legged and cause you painful feeling. Sit on a comfortable chair, not too comfortable, on a hard chair, so that you don't fall asleep when it's too comfortable. But if you want to be more of a hardcore practitioner, then you have to learn to accept the pain and leave the pain alone by concentrating on your meditation. If your mind becomes concentrated, then the pain will not bother you. But if you cannot yet deal with the pain, then try to sit in a chair or something that doesn't cause you any pain first.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. And that's all the question you have for tonight. Okay. Maybe next time if you have any more questions, you're welcome to join. Okay, I think we'll go to Kunjup now for more questions if there's any.
กราบนมัสการท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ We have 10 questions and they're all from Facebook this evening. The first set of questions are from Minnie Pool. Dear Ajaan Suchart, it is said that the citta is permanent. If it is so, doesn't it mean that there is a soul reincarnating? This contradicts with what the Buddha teaches.
No, the citta is one of the natural elements called the knowing element. The other natural elements are the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the wind element. There are no cells in this element. They're just elements.
And what will happen to the citta when an arahant temporarily enters into Nirodha Samapatti?
Well, it just stop functioning temporarily. That's all. The function of the mind stop functioning. Like the thinking, the feeling, the perception, they stop temporarily when you enter into jhana. But when you come out, it will start to continue functioning again.
What will happen when an arahant dies? The knowing element remains, but doesn't the Buddha say that the nama and rupa will be ceased without remainder? Should I reread? Yeah.
This cease to function, like the nama the nama still remain in the mind, but they don't function. They stop working, and the body there's no new body. So they're just the knowing alone, living alone by itself. It doesn't have any need to think anymore. So it doesn't. The thinking function stop, the feeling function stop, the perception function stop. All that is left with just a knowing element. The knowing the knowing property, which is not a function, is part of the knowing element. It's a property of the knowing element. It's the knowing.
And the last question from Minnie is, may I ask, does an arahant still have defilement, but their citta won't stick to them?
Well, it's the same thing. They no longer use the defilement anymore. There's no defilement really. No greed, no hate, no delusion in the mind.
And the next questions are from Pauline Soon. This is a question about walking and sitting meditation. Do we need to walk until the mind is mindful and then we sit? Is it compulsory to walk?
Well, if you cannot sit and meditate successfully, then you might have to walk first to establish more mindfulness. Once you have enough mindfulness to sit, then you continue, then you sit. But if you can sit without walking and you can meditate without the need for walking, then there's no need to walk. You can start sitting and meditating right away. It depends on how strong your mindfulness is when you meditate. If your mindfulness is not strong enough to meditate, then you might have to do walking meditation first to establish more mindfulness. Once you think you have more mindfulness and able to sit and meditate, then you sit and meditate.
Can a meditator practice reflection on anatta to remind the mind? And can it help to improve the meditation progress?
Yes, this is part of wisdom. So which sometimes wisdom can also help calm the mind down. But it depends on the situation also. But generally, you use mindfulness to calm the mind. But occasionally, sometimes using wisdom like anatta, like the body is anatta, the body is the four element, the body will die, for instance. Then it might stop your mind from worrying too much about everything else, So it depends. You can whether it's applicable or not. It depends on the situation. When you use wisdom to calm your mind down.
The next question is from Meta Vandana. Hi, Ajahn. Please explain the difference between the knower and the knowing. If we say there is a knower, we are creating a self. But if we say there is only a knowing, then who is the one who is observing all this process? Thank you for Ajah's teachings.
The knowing is the one that observes the knowing is observing. See, there's no knower. There are no actor. There are action, but no actor. There is knowing, but there's no knower. They all function.
The next question is from Sulan. Hope you are well, Ajahn. May I ask, what is the most suitable gift for monks for the Katina? Thank you.
Well, usually the most suitable one is food, I guess. We have to eat every day. So you can give food if you like. Next is we usually have enough rope already because rope barely we change the rope once a year, maybe when it gets old or it's torn or something like that. But what we need every day is food, And next is medicine, probably, when we get sick. And housing, but we already have housing, so basically all we need is food, really. But you have to give it once in the morning, that's all. We cannot keep the food overnight. All the food that we collect today, we have to give up once we finish eating. We're not supposed to store any food.
And the last question is from Aini Lam. Hi, Ajahn. How to prevent one from getting hypnotized, as someone lost his money after this hypnotism happened? Sadhu.
I don't know. Don't go near a hypnotic person. That's all.
That is all, Ka.
All right. I think that's about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is useful and helpful to your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank
sadhu.
you,
Thank you. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.